We now turn our attention to a student athlete who has made sacrifices that will amaze you.
Keithan grew up, you know, with a very broken up family, I guess. People in, people out, you know, and didn't grow up in a great part of Chicago.
There's so many negative influences and so much negative energy pulling at you that it's so much harder that you have to conscientiously stay focused on what you're doing. I got to stay away from this negative influence. I can't go down that block, or I shouldn't be around these people.
Through high school, you know, overcame those things and was successful. Earned a scholarship through the state and to go to college. So he earned that, decided to come to Eastern.
You know, he was a great kid his first year, redshirted, did everything we asked on the scout team.
And I really grew to love Charleston. I really grew to love Charleston because of the fact that it's so safe and it's so quiet and so serene and clean and peaceful. And I love that about it. I looked at the situation and I said, well, how can I change the situation for my brothers, because that situation is not, you know, what I would want to go through. I went through it and I know it's rough.
Came to me and said, you know, he doesn't want his brothers growing up where he grew up and in that atmosphere.
And that I'm willing to take on that responsibility, and I want to put the weight on my shoulders, and I want to make this happen, because I know that in order for them to be successful in what they want to do, environment plays a big role in that. Well, I went to Coach Rock first and I asked him, you know, would it be possible if I could live off campus the next year? Because of the fact that I would have responsibilities. I told him that I was trying to bring my brothers here with me, and I want them to live with me, and obviously living in dorms, that wouldn't be able to happen.
You know, the thought did go through my head, this kid is crazy. You know, he's going to go and think about it a little bit more and realize what he's going to put himself through, and his parents aren't going to like it. I mean, there's no way that his mom's going to let him take these guys down here. And
I started off really good in the classroom, you know, got the football going and stuff like that. So she didn't want to put me in any situation where I would be at a disadvantage taking on that responsibility. And that's why I said kind of in the summer, it kind of went from, you know, us debating about her thinking about it, to me just saying, you know what, I know that I can handle this, and kind of stepping in and just saying, hey, this is what I want to do, this is what's going to happen, because of the fact that, you know, I knew that with her as a mom caring for me and love for me, she probably would never willingly think about it and say, okay, let's make that happen. So I kind of had to tell her that this is what I want to do and this is what I want to happen, and that I'm not taking no for an answer.
I didn't think he'd go through with it, to be honest with you, because it is quite a sacrifice, and not only for him but for his brothers to move out of their comfort zone down to Charleston, Illinois, which is totally unlike the place that they left. So, you know, I didn't think he'd go through with it, but I thought he'd be successful if he did. If there's anyone that could do it, it'd be Keithan.
In the summer, his brothers moved down with him. They got an apartment, and it's extraordinary. You know what I mean? To be so selfless that he doesn't care about his college experience, and he'll tell you he doesn't get to have the same college experience only in his second year of college.
This is not new for me. Actually, throughout all my high school years, for 4 years, I've always kind of been, you know, that figure to my brothers. I've always helped them. I've always managed them. When I was in high school, I coached them in their junior football. So this is not a new process for me as far as juggling this responsibility. You know, I get up in the morning, we all get up, and I get them, you know, they get themselves ready. I make sure that, you know, they eat a nice breakfast, they get to school. I go take care of my classes, I go to practice. Our schedules work out tremendously because of the fact that I usually get home around 6:30, where this whole season was fall season football for them. They didn't usually get home till around 6:30. So there wasn't too much time that I had to manage because of the fact that when I'm practicing, they were practicing, and that worked out perfectly with their schedules in mind.
You know, he's a very organized kid, and that's why he's a 4.0 student and all those things I wasn't when I was in college.
I love athletics and I love sports, but at the same time, I understand that that's not the easiest way to write your ticket. And I try to instill in my brothers every day that, you know, let's focus on making it here, not by athletic abilities. That if you put the time in the classroom, and I think that I pride myself in that, you know, I focus on my grades first. You know, I'm a student athlete, student first, athlete second. I try to teach them the same thing, that, you know, if you get injured, you break your knee or something like that, your career could be over. But there's nothing anybody can take. My mom always preaches to us that no matter what, nobody can ever take what you have in between your ears from you.
I know he's happy for the attention he's bringing to himself, his family, and the program for what he's done, but he wants more. He wants to be a successful player, and you know, you talk about leadership. Keithan Hedrick may go from walk-on to captain.
My role this season for the team was a scout team player. Didn't get a chance to, I played a few snaps here and there, but didn't play a big role on my on-field stuff, and I took pride in that. But as an athlete, I came to Eastern Illinois University to play football, and obviously to obtain my degree first and foremost, but I want to contribute to the team as much as possible. And my immediate goal in this offseason is to emerge myself as a leader on this football team and to help us get better and overcome the season that we had last year.
when I had my exit meetings with the defensive players at the end of the season, I met with Keithan early in the process, and then I used a lot of the things he said in those exit meetings. You know, Keithan said this and Keithan said that. And
so my immediate goal as of now is to become the best leader and affect as many people as I can on our team in order to make us successful. In the classroom, it's to work farther and harder to obtain my degree. Right now, I'm on track to actually graduate next spring with my bachelor's degree, and I'm trying to get on the field. I will be on the field this season, and that's my goal, and that's what I'm working for. So my two immediate goals is to make sure that I'm staying on track to graduate early like I want to with my bachelor's, and my second goal would be to get on the field. To get on the field and not just be a role player as far as standing on the sideline and supporting my team, but be a role player as far as stepping on the field and having a role on the field and off the field so that we can be a better team and a better program, because the more successful we are, the better the university looks, and it's the least I could do for what all it has done for me.
He wants to be a good football player, but he understands that he's not as talented as a lot of the guys that we have in the program, and he's focused on going to law school and being successful in school while he's here. So I could see him being a lawyer, and honestly, I can see him going into politics afterwards. I mean, has a very infectious personality. People are kind of drawn to him, and I could see him being a lawyer for a while and then moving on to bigger and better things, and maybe being a leader of not only the city of Chicago, the state of Illinois, but maybe the country. I really could see that. It sounds crazy, but the kid has a real presence about him, a real aura, and I'm just happy to have him be part of my life.
And my mom's a single parent, and she showed the responsibility of all of us each and every day of our lives, never complaining, working hard. I've always tell people that, even time we wouldn't see our mom for 2 or 3 days because she works 16-hour shifts. So when she's home, we're at school. When we're at school, she's home, and then it's vice versa. So we never really, it'd be days, 2 or 3 days where you don't see her, not because she's not there, but because she's working so hard, and I mean, in order for us to make ends meet, she would have to work a double 3, 4 days a week sometimes to make ends meet. But to come home, put a smile on her face, clean, cook, and get up the next day and do it all again with that same motor, that same energy, never putting her head down, never giving up. As one of her children who you see that she's doing that for, you have no choice but to look at that and admire that, and to learn from that, hey, if you put your mind to it, you set through it, and you have faith in God, that you can accomplish anything you set your mind to. So.
I don't know that they realize right now what Keithan has done for them. Maybe they do to a point, and maybe in 10, 15 years, maybe they'll really look back and say, wow, my brother was a real special guy, and